The new title, Sonic Superstars, is a freaking good game. I just got done playing the entire game. I just put in about 22 hours into the game. I bought it on Steam, of course. And I gotta say, this is one of the best, yeah, I'm saying it, is one of the best Sonic games I've ever played. I had a whole lot of fun with this game. Now, that's not to say that there wasn't a lot of problems, and that's really the reason why I'm doing a KamExams on this game in the first place. This is technically going to be my first ever game review, so I'm not going to get too much into everything, but at the same time, these are my whole raw and honest thoughts since I literally just got done playing the game like 5 minutes ago. So with that being said, to preface this, everybody knows that Sonic the Hedgehog has had a lot of good classic games, and they're usually held as some of the best Sonic games of all time. And because of that, Sonic Mania exists. And Sonic Mania was a game made by Sonic fans for Sonic Team, and they eventually made it and they published it, and it's actually held as one of the best Sonic games ever. After dumpster fires such as Sonic 4, Sonic 4 Episode 2, and some other things that just haven't gotten the classic formula right. That game, Sonic Mania was just held as one of the best interpretations, and it was just like a true to life, true with spirit Sonic game, and it's one that a lot of people wanted a sequel for. Unfortunately, apparently that sequel with the same developers actually fell through. The developers of that game, or Sonic Mania, really is Evening Star, and Evening Star has already went on again to make their own, company, and now they're making their own game, which I'm actually looking very much forward to. I'm not sure exactly the specifics on why they didn't come back, but I think the thing about it is that, Sega wanted them to do something, and then they were just like, I can't do this, and so they just, put matters into their own hands. Now, there is a little part of me that probably is saying that maybe Sega's doing this so that they could prove to everybody that they could probably make a good Sonic game. It doesn't have to be just the fans. We can still do this too. But I'm not sure of how that's, how true that is. I mean, it might be true, it might not be true, but I think there's a good assumption there. With that being said, this game came out in October 17th, a couple days ago at this point. I don't know when I'm going to upload this, but a couple days ago this game came out, and it got some mixed reviews. So far, apparently, there's been a lot of mixed reviews on this game. And what we're going to do in this video is we're going to completely sideline all that, because this is my video, this is my opinion, this is all my thoughts, so it really doesn't make any type of difference to me. The point of the matter is that I had a fun-ass time with this game. In terms of gameplay, it is a whole lot like every other classic Sonic game. A lot of it's borrowing from Sonic Mania. You got a lot of the same sound effects, some of the animation, like Sonic's super peel out move. You even got stuff from Sonic Origins, with Amy's whole entire moveset, which I'm gonna be honest, I think some of those models and some of those assets from Sonic Origins actually made their way into Sonic Superstars, because a lot of the models and assets do seem like they're from that game, which is actually a game I didn't get because I just didn't think it was actually a really good collection at all. I did not like Sonic Origins. Sonic Mania Collection Plus is what I grew up on, and I love that a lot. It's one of the best Sonic compilations ever. It's one of the best game compilations, and I just was not interested in Sonic Origins at all. Superstars, on the other hand, I definitely was. But anyway, getting back to it, the gameplay itself is awesome. It's true to life classic Sonic game. I mean, the weird thing about it is that it's in 3D. One would look at this game and be like, dang, will it be controlling Generations, which wasn't perfect, but it was actually quite decent at replicating Sonic or classic Sonic? Or was it going to be like a classic Sonic and Forces, where it was absolute fucking dog shit? Well, it wasn't the latter. It was definitely the former, but it was actually better than the former. I'm talking about the former. I'm talking I don't know. It was basically a true to life classic Sonic stuff. We've had stuff like Sonic 4 Generations, Forces, and all that stuff trying to replicate the classic physics, but I gotta give credit to where credit is due. The Superstars, Sonic Superstars, nails it. It's 100% classic Sonic. Physics are all there. You go faster and faster down slopes if you roll. You gain a lot of speed doing that. You have to earn your momentum, jumping, badnik bouncing, all that stuff is there. It's an amazing, awesome, replication of the old original physics. So that's actually pretty much covered. And in terms of level design, it is a little bit of a step down from something like Sonic Mania. Although it still is something on the realms of something like Sonic 2, which is, again, really awesome. The reason why I like Sonic Mania's design is because of the fact that it was like all the levels in Sonic Mania were like giant playgrounds that were very, very much catered to every single character. If you wanted to explore and go slow, you could. If you wanted to go fast and, go as fast as you can, you could. That's what I loved about the Sonic Mania level design, and there is semblance of that level design here. So, the developers of this game, who are they again? At Arzest, they did their research on this subject, and they did a pretty good job. Sonic feels amazing. Of course he has the drop dash, which unfortunately though he doesn't have the super peel out or the insta shield, and that does kind of suck because I do like a more full move set. I like it when games give you a whole lot of power. I do like that type of stuff, and unfortunately it doesn't really do that. I'm not even sure if it's gonna be unlockable. I basically unlocked everything in the game, so at this point I know that there's no super peel out unlockable anything like that, or any extra moves or anything like that. So unfortunately that is a bummer, but it is what it is. The game still controls fine. At least it has the drop dash, which is most important to me. God, it feels so fucking awesome. Tails and Knuckles are basically what they are, what they were before, so there's nothing really much to complain about there. Amy is actually pretty fucking good. Now, of course, this is my first time playing as Amy, so of course, seeing Amy is basically like seeing how you play as Sonic. Like Sonic, she can run fast, she can spin dash, she also can use her hammer. She also has a double jump as well. If you press the jump button and press it again in the air, then you'll be able to do, a little curl, a little double jump. And if you hold it, then you can do this awesome little hammer strike in continuous motion. That's really, really cool. And I really do like it. I do think it's very satisfying to really use Amy. And it's actually the fun fact, Amy was actually the first way to actually even beat this game. So that's saying something, just by proxy. So the level design, the gameplay, the characters are all there. There are some instances where, the levels are pretty much, just like one act or whatever, what I'm saying? I'm thinking of like Lagoon City or Lagoon Ruins or whatever it is. That's only one act. I was actually kind of afraid of that, but from what I've heard from leaks, which I didn't get into too many leaks when I got into this, but I did hear about this, unfortunately, that there was going to be a lot more of that, one act stuff. But there was only like maybe one or two one act zones in the game, or maybe just one, I'm not even sure. But it was basically nothing at all. In terms of like the longevity of the game, it took me about 5 hours to beat. It took me like an extra 15 because we'll get to that. But, it did take me like 5 hours to get, and that's a pretty good time. I mean, personally, I'm a type of guy that doesn't really mind a Sonic game being really long anyway. I play stuff like Freedom Planet and Freedom Planet 2, so I'm definitely used to actually having longer Sonic games. It's not a problem with me. A lot of people like to say, oh no, Sonic games need to be like, short length. And I'm just like, hey, if a game's fun and it's continuous, I don't mind how long a game is, as long as it doesn't suck too many hours of my life from me, which is like a lot. Like it had to be like 50 hours, like, and it's not even an RPG. Like what? No. If it's like, 10 hours long, I don't care. I love that. Give me more game. Give me more good game. I'm actually fine with that. So, with that being said, the levels actually feel pretty awesome to control in. And they're not too hard. The game does seem like it's kind of easy. There are some moments in the stages that do kind of fucking suck. I'm thinking of that one part in Cyber Station where, you're climbing up the little thing with the mouses and stuff like that. And it's really annoying because for some reason the mouses can't go fucking down and stuff like that. It's really, really distracting. And I absolutely hate that. But there's not really much else going on. I mean, the bosses are really, really easy, honestly. But the thing about the bosses is the fact that a lot of them really are just waiting games, unfortunately. And if you know me, you would know that I think these are the worst types of Sonic bosses in general. Bosses where you have to wait to attack are some of the worst Sonic bosses because they go completely against the flow of the game, which is one of the most important parts of a Sonic game. It's the flow. If stuff doesn't flow, then it doesn't feel like a true to life Sonic game for me. Now, some people do like actually maybe the fact that, oh, well, you can't beat the bosses in like 2 seconds like in the classic games, but I have to completely disagree. Being able to beat those bosses in the first place got things moving. It got things going, and at least the flow was good. If you want a more juicy boss fight, I guess a boss fight that does feel like it's more, add more hits, allow the player to exploit more weaknesses and to hit the boss more. I don't think waiting it out is really the best option, because it really does take the game down to a screeching halt, which I don't really like and I don't really appreciate. But using this game's new special emerald powers, you can make short work of these enemies in the first place anyway. I'm not going to get into all of the emerald powers. Of course, you do get stuff like the little burst wispy thing. You get some like vine or whatever. You get some water power up. You even get, a doppelganger thing where you can make like hundreds of clones of fucking Kagebushin no Jutsu, I'm sorry. No. But it's the thing about it is, though, unfortunately, and this is probably one of the weaker parts of the game, is that they're not really all that useful. In all honesty, I didn't really use emerald powers that much unless I was actually on one of the bosses, where if I were actually on the boss and I would be able to exploit it with an emerald power, I would use it. But in terms of like the normal gameplay, like through the stages, I didn't really use it that much because I just didn't think it was all that interesting, well, it was very interesting, but it wasn't that useful. The thing about it is that, like, first of all, when you use the power up, you can't turn them off. There's a tutorial in the game that tells you that you can turn them off, but you can't actually turn them off. The only thing that you can turn off in this game is Supersonic. The only emerald power that you can turn off is Supersonic, which, yes, of course, Supersonic, Super Tails, Super Knuckles, Super Amy, they're all in the game, and that's really cool and all. So, okay, let's do the big test. Let's see if we can turn back from Supersonic. Hold the fucking phone. Hold the fucking phone. You're telling me that you can turn back from Supersonic? All that bad stuff I just talked about? Completely negated. This is amazing. This is awesome. This is so cool. I love this game to death. It is the best Sonic. No, I can't say that. I can't say that. Can't say that. Blowing my load. Can't do it. Not yet. It's too early. No orgasm, okay? And I love the fact that they're in the game, which actually makes me very much question the fact that people aren't really complaining that Supersonic isn't a playable character in Sonic Frontiers. I mean, no one complained about that for like a year. Like, remember there was a time before 2010 where people were clamoring for Supersonic to be playable in normal levels like in the classic games, and it was like, please bring Supersonic back. But now it's like, yeah, whatever, who cares now, I guess. And no one complained about that. I mean, yeah, sure, there's mods, but then again, after what they did with Sonic Forces, or at least what they tried to do, maybe that's probably another reason. But going back to the whole emerald powers, yeah, you can't turn them off. They're not really all that useful. And, they last a little while, but you can't actually, for one thing, you can't turn them off. So you can't, save them. Once they run out, you can't use them anymore. The only way to recharge your emerald powers is to go past a checkpoint. And in a boss fight, how is that going to be useful? You can use your thing once to exploit it real quick. If a boss is going really, really fast or whatever, and you want to use the time slow down maneuver, you can only use it once. How useful is that really going to be? If they had made it to where it actually charges out by itself and doesn't need a star post thing, it would have been a lot better, in my honest to God opinion. I think that should have been how it was in the first place, but unfortunately, Sega didn't do that, and that's unfortunate, but whatever. The Emerald powers would have been actually a lot better if they were actually a little bit more practical too. I mean, really, a vine power up, a water power up, a lot of these you're not really going to use all that much. What would have been cool is if they added a shield power up or a speed up upgrade, or the doppelganger thing is cool, the burst thing is cool, an electric attack, maybe bring some Sonic 3 elements in the Emerald power system. I think it would make a lot of sense, Because if there is one thing I actually like about the Emerald Power system is the fact that it actually incentivizes or gives you more incentive to actually get the Chaos Emeralds. The Chaos Emeralds in this game actually do make like a return. Of course, you have to go to special stages in order to get them. In every other Sonic game, you get the Chaos Emeralds to either get Super Sonic or the final story or boss or whatever, or probably both in the best instances. But the thing about it is that getting individual emeralds is never really all that, interesting unless you're playing Shadow the Hedgehog. But then again, like that's get one Chaos Emerald, you can do Chaos Control and Chaos Blast. Like, who cares? So, the thing about it is in this game is that you unlock the Emerald powers as you get the Chaos Emeralds. So you get 7 Emerald powers by getting 7 Chaos Emeralds. And that is actually awesome. That's an awesome, genius idea. One of the ideas from Sonic X that I actually did like was the fact that multiple Chaos Emeralds gave you multiple powers, or at least they tried to do that. One Chaos Emerald gives you power over time and space with Chaos Control. 2 of them allows you to have flight, like in that one Sonic episode, when Sonic got 2 Chaos Emeralds and he was able to, fly and wreck shit up. That was really cool. But, every other, Sonic Media thing has never, kind of really tapped into the full use of, chaos. I do like the fact that they actually do that. And going back to the whole entire, Chaos Emerald thing, I think these are, some of the best Chaos Emerald, special stages in the, in the series anyway, because they're really, really unique. I like them a lot. They're really awesome. They're original. You're basically, swinging from, I guess, some balls or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Just swinging, trying to get to the Emerald. Some people have said that they're hard, but to me, these were some of the easiest special stages in Sonic history. In fact, I was able to get every single Chaos Emerald by, just trying just once. My first try, I got all of the Chaos Emeralds just one try. And it was really easy. Now, there was some times where you kind of maneuver yourself, so you could fling yourself in a certain way, but it wasn't really all that bad. The special stages are kind of played in tandem with the bonus stages, and in the bonus stages you get medals, which is basically for online, which we'll get to in a minute. But in all honesty, the special stages, the Chaos Emeralds, the gameplay, the Emerald powers, all that's, the Emerald powers are there, but they're not that too useful. But I do like the idea that the Chaos Emeralds actually do give you powers, and I do like the gameplay. It feels great. It feels awesome. But I do have to get more into some of my nitpicks and my grievances with this game now. So, for one thing, the music. I actually like the music a lot. The music in the game is a mix. It's a mix of Sonic Mania and Sonic 4. Now, hold up. Sonic 4 Episode 1 actually did have a good soundtrack. Sonic 4 Episode 1 actually did have some really, really catchy, music in there. But, the thing about the soundtrack in this game is, while it is good, and honestly, they're nothing like Sonic 4 Episode 2 soundtracks, which I haven't listened to in a while, but I just don't really like Sonic 4 Episode 2 soundtrack, is that Sonic Superstars has, a mixed soundtrack. Of course, you got T-Lopes returning from Sonic Mania, and some other Sonic games that he's actually recently did, Team Sonic Racing and stuff like that. And of course you got Jun Sonoe, who did, the music for a whole lot of other Sonic games, but, he did the Genesis-y music, and, I'm about to say unfortunately. Look, I'm not trying to get on Jun Sonoe. He's a good musician and all, but, his Sonic 4 compositions are very Genesis twangy. You can definitely feel like he's trying to replicate the Genesis as much as possible, and it might be a detriment to the songs themselves, because while the songs themselves do sound pretty good, they're actually on par with Sonic 4, Sonic 4 Episode 1 soundtrack, again, which is, to my opinion, is a pretty good soundtrack. I do have to say that they do not really blend that well, now I think about it, with the T-Lopes song. And T-Lopes' songs are on a completely different level, because they're not too much just trying to be Genesis. That's the thing. The old Sonic games, yes, they did have music that was on the Genesis, but they didn't sound like Genesis music. If you ask anybody around, who plays those games and listens to those music, they don't sound like Genesis, music. A lot of other Genesis have wet farts and twangs and stuff like that. But classic Sonic games had a really natural and like progressive soundtrack. It felt like you weren't really even listening to Genesis music. And that's what I feel like T. Lopes really does get right. He does get this part extremely correct in terms of the music, but in terms of Jun Sonoy, he's trying to represent the Genesis. And, you know, that's a detriment. It doesn't blend well. And while I'm fine with it, you know, I still, like, every time I listen to one of these songs, I'm always saying out loud, I'm like, man, this song is really Sonic 4 coded, you know, because like it just sounds like something from Sonic 4, and it's a little frustrating, I'm not gonna lie. I think the worst offender of this is definitely Press Factory. I think that song is probably my worst, my least favorite song in the game. But you know, of course, I warm up to music over time, so who knows? I could be lying out my ass right now. So with that being said, what else to go over? Oh yeah, the difficulty. Now, like I said before, it's not a hard game at all. This game from front to back is not hard. Let me just say that again. It's not hard. However, it does have some bullshit ass retro game moments. Stuff that I personally believe that it's kind of designed in a way that it's like someone's still back on the fucking arcade era. Like you're trying to get people's coins when there's no coins to get. Well, I mean, of course there's money, but like you know, the thing about like retro games back in the day is that they were designed to get your money. So they were designed in a way that they were like extremely hard, in fact. So, you know, a lot of classic Sonic games were actually designed around that, and that's the reason why a whole lot of older games have lives. Unfortunately, that arcade, you know, like idea was brought to the home console market, unfortunately. But the stuff started to fizzle out. And in Sonic Mania, that was a perfectly, like, you know, whatever game. The only times I ever had problems with Sonic Mania was the Chaos Emeralds and Encore mode. That was the only problem, and I remember we didn't have a good time. But I do remember that game was pretty much okay with that. This game has what I would call 90s era fuck you bullshit fuck ass moments. It's some bullshit. Now, there's not really that many bosses in this game. It's just the bosses. It's not even the stages. I've heard some people complain about the bosses like Press Factory, or when I'm talking about like earlier when I mentioned like Cyber Station. But no, the worst offender are some of the bosses. For one, there's the Fang. You know, again, Fang is back in this game. You like Fang? Fang is cool. I mean, he's called Fang the Hunter now, not Fang the Sniper or Knack the Weasel, but we're fine with that. Actually, I like the fact that he's back anyway, and not some apparition like in Sonic Mania or some random fighter in Sonic the Fighters. But there's that one fight with Fang that really just sucks because it's an auto-scroller. Auto-scrollers in Sonic games, stop doing that. No one likes auto-scrollers in Sonic games. I'm not sure about any other series because they still put them in Mario, but auto-scrollers in games fucking suck. Or just Sonic games in general, stop doing fucking auto-scrollers. I don't know what the fuck this type of this mentality like oh, we should slow down the player and let them only progress by our merit. It doesn't make any sense. Why would you do that? You take away control. I hate that. That's one of the reasons why I hate, you know, automation in Sonic games. It's fucking stupid. But, you know, going back again, it's an auto-scrolling fucking boss. It's really hard to hit sometimes, and it goes on for fucking way too long. It has got way too many DM. It's got like 3 phases, and you know, there's one part where you can't even fucking hit it. It's stupid. There's the stupid eagle boss fight in Act 1 of that snow level from Trip's story, which is really stupid because it's an auto-running boss fight, which those did not work in Sonic Advance 2, so I don't know why we're doing them now. But, you know, that's another boss fight that I personally feel like sucks because it just seems to not work sometimes. And it has a lot of bullshit parts that you have to react to in a real crazy seconds notice. And again, I'm saying all this. Let me preface this by saying that I played Sonic games for a long time. I should be able to get through all this. And even then, I'm still getting fucking trouble from some fucking bald ass robot eagle. There's the egg robot boss, which I don't know what that boss fight is even called, but it's actually the final boss in any character's story, which is Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Amy, and it fucking sucks because you're going to the boss fight. There's not a lot of chances to hit him. You got to throw these missiles back at him. There's a lot of like insta kill stuff. And there's another phase to it, which, and of course, in all honesty, I don't even like second phase stuff. I hate second phase stuff. When I kill a fucking boss, I killed the fucking boss, and I'm not playing. I seriously, I'm serious. Like, it might sound like I'm joking, but I'm being dead serious. When I kill a boss, I killed the fucking boss. I don't want to have the boss come back. Let me fucking go on with my day. I feel like I'm not even progressing, and I don't like not progressing. It's one of my things. But with that being said, is that after that phase, the first phase, you have another phase, and of course, it gets even worse. And it's a lot of it's like just trial and error. And even once you get like the most optimal way to play it, there's still some ways like they can fuck you and just make you not be able to like progress and stuff like that. And the same thing applies to the other boss fight, which is the one with Fang, which is basically just like the Death Egg robot thingy, but with Fang this time, and it's even more bullshit. I mean, at first I thought it was easier, but you've got like these instant kill knockout things that come at you whenever you try to do anything. You got these instant kill lasers, you got these instant kill little maneuvers where he'll try to like crush the platforms and stuff like that, and it's just too much to deal with. I know for a damn fact that people spent like an hour or maybe even more just on the Death Egg robot in of itself, or maybe even more. I think a lot of people actually took more time than that. I took personally an hour and 30 minutes collectively. I spent 30 minutes trying to do it on stream one time, and then I took another hour the next day trying to beat it by myself. And then the fucking Fang one, holy fucking nipple, I don't even know. I had to legit take a long ass break from this today. I literally like beat it today, but it was super fucking annoying because literally I was having glitches happen like left and right, which I'll get into in a bit. Like glitches happen left and right, and it was just super fucking annoying just every fucking time having to go back through the entire goddamn fight. This is not 1996 anymore. This is fucking 2023. Why are we still not having these goddamn people playtest these games and like saying that, oh, this is bullshit? Why the fuck would we do this? No, it's still fucking bullshit because everybody doesn't know what the fuck they're doing in terms of, designing this shit. And don't tell me like, oh, well, you gotta get good or whatever like that. Like, if you can do this stuff, that's good for you, right? But I'm definitely not gonna be over here just trying to deal with some bullshit that I know I don't have to do with, okay? I'm a busy dude, okay? This is not all I do. I play games to have fun. I like talking about them and all that stuff, but this is not all I do. I got stuff to do. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be thinking about everybody else, man, sometimes. You can't just be thinking about, oh, you should make this just fucking hard. You have it be like this, and if they can't get good, then get good. Well, I don't know about you, sir, but if you think I gotta get good for some bullshit, then I'm gonna fucking never buy the game. Like, I'm gonna refund the fucking game, and you can go get fucked. All right? Of course. Now we have to get into the other stuff, which is the glitches. Now, I actually did encounter some glitches that I feel like really need to be patched out as soon as possible. I've ran through the floor. I've had weird hit detections. There is some weird, collision like issues, and it's just super like weird. It's not as bad as something like Sonic CD on the original Sega CD, but it definitely does have some kinks to iron out, and it really makes me a little bit frustrated, which is actually one of the reasons why I had such a hard time on like the boss fights and all the other weird stuff that I couldn't get across. The glitches in this game, they're not that bad, but they're definitely something that I definitely hope that they can patch out sometime. Now, I think after getting through all that, I think I can finally get into the worst part about this game. And it's not even a supersonic fight. Yeah, I didn't like the supersonic fight because it's another supersonic fight where you gotta run on rings, which I fucking hate. Like, you're playing an awesome boss fight, And you gotta be over here thinking about your little ring count, not seeing all this. Like, I hate that in every song. You gotta think about your ring count, seeing all this other crazy stuff in the background. You're trying to hit the boss fight. You're trying to do it in like a certain amount of time because of the fact that you got your rings. Like, guys, I just achieved ultimate power. You know, and just to talk about Supersonic real quick, you know, when I get all the Chaos Emeralds, it usually comes from doing, you know, certain tedious tasks, like trying to get the emeralds in certain special stages by doing certain specific things. If I'm over here, you know, struggling and trying to get all the Chaos Emeralds, when I get the Chaos Emeralds, I want ultimate power. I don't want to just sit over here and think about my ring count or something like that. I honestly think it would be a perfect world if Supersonic didn't run on rings. All right, any amount of rings could make him go super, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, that's just the most amazing scenario to me because that's how it should be. When I get ultimate power, I want to, oh yeah, and to be able to turn back, which actually this game does. When you turn into a super state in this game, you can actually turn back into your character, which is awesome. I mean, think about it. How awesome this would be, because the thing about it is when you're turning into Supersonic, you're burning rings constantly, but you probably want to save your rings because, like, what if you're using Supersonic to get past a certain boss fight really fast? Because don't lie, you've done that before if you've actually played these games long enough. So it'd be awesome to like get a whole lot of rings and then, you know, store them up, you know what I'm saying, get like a shield or something like that, then go to the boss fight, you know, turn Supersonic back on and then beat the boss. I'm just saying, I just like the option, and I don't like the fact that there's really no option. The only Sonic game that I can think of that actually really gave you the option, which I think was probably not even intentional, was Sonic Lost World. And if anyone can actually help me, you know, cite some other sources in the comments, then I would really appreciate that. But that's all I really got. No, I'm not talking about Supersonic. The worst thing about this game in particular is, well, it's really only a problem on the PC version, which I got this game on Steam. And the thing about the Steam version is that this game does actually have multiplayer. Now, this game has local co-op and, you know, of course, you know, online co-op. Now, I've heard that online co-op, you don't actually get to go through the entire game, which sucks, but there's a battle mode and some type of ring other thing. But you want to know that what offended me when I first launched the game? I remember in the stream itself, I was super fucking confused. I was like, wait, you have to have an Epic. Why is my Epic account like launching? What's going on? You have to have an Epic Games account in order to play online in this game. Now, what I recommend you guys to do is to be smart. Either use Parsec or to use Steam Share Play, where you share with another player, you know, playing the game or whatever, and you guys play that game, the game that way. I don't know if you can do battle mode locally like that. I'm not sure you can do ring battle, but the point of the matter is that it fucking sucks. I am never gonna sign into fucking Epic Games because do you guys know how fucking stupid that is? Like, seriously, it's like buying a fucking Xbox game, getting Xbox Live, and then for some fucking reason, the thing tells you, oh, well, actually, you got to get a PlayStation Plus membership now because that's how you're not be able to play GTA 5 online on the Xbox. Do you know how fucking, like stupid that is? It is super fucking, I don't even know how Steam, like, I love Steam. I love Steam. But at the same time, does that make any sense? Does that really make any sense to you guys? If it does make any sense, I want you to get out. Go. The door is right there. I can't open it all the way, but it's right there. Get out. Because that shit makes absolutely no sense. Why the hell would you have to sign in to another goddamn platform when you're using another platform? It's like I understand, like, this is like Steam, Epic, they're competitors. Why would they even allow that? I can understand. I really don't. I'm just saying because we're so used to it now. But being like, you know, buying like a game like GTA, having to, you know, sign into the Rockstar Social Club or Games from Windows Live or Ubisoft. Ugh. Who does that? Why would anyone do that? Tell me, man. Tell me. I want to know. Straight from your damn mouth. I want to fucking know. Shit. Alright, so apparently, since, you know, I recorded this a little while ago,
The game has actually recently gotten some updates and patches and stuff like that. And one of the patches that the actual game does address is the whole Epic Games feature. Like I said in the video, you actually do have to have an Epic Games account. At first, you had to, past tense, all right? Now you don't. Apparently that has been patched out. You don't actually have to have an Epic Games account in order to go online. They addressed this in literally a patch note update that they had, but basically you don't have to do that anymore. So apparently everything that I just said in the past like 3 minutes is basically my new.
But with all that being said, Sonic Superstars is actually an amazing game. I'm just gonna say right now, you know, like Classic Sonic, I do like the whole entire idea of Classic Sonic even getting another game in the first place, because I even said after a while, because for those who don't know, I've kind of given up on Sonic. Well, I did give up on Sonic before Sonic Frontiers came out. I was completely done, but after the release of Sonic Mania, I kind of started to realize that maybe Classic Sonic is where Sonic does need to go. And I was completely content with the franchise just going into the Classic Sonic direction and to focus on Classic Sonic instead of modern Sonic. And I still actually hold that opinion, because I can understand why. Because Classic Sonic does have a really like positive like connotation. I think a lot of things can still be done with Classic Sonic, and maybe that's where the franchise needs to go, and we just need to wake up. But even then, I'm still more of a modern Sonic fan. I can't say I like Classic Sonic more, but damn, Classic Sonic is good. Classic Sonic is Sonic at the end of the day. I mean, there really is no, you know, it's just a style of gameplay. You know, that's all it is. That's all the difference to me. But with that being said, you know, Classic Sonic in general, I do like the fact that he's getting a little bit more attention, and I hope there is actually going to be a sequel. I hope there's going to be like a Sonic Mania or like Sonic Mania Plus situation or Sonic Origins Plus situation where there's like more characters or stages or something like that. I think I would really appreciate that. I hope that the reception to this game isn't too negative, because I've been hearing a lot of that stuff recently. In terms of where I would rate, like I would actually rank it in terms of like the classic series. You know, of course, any game from 91 to 1998. I would say that, you know, among the best are Sonic 1, Sonic 2, Sonic CD, Sonic, and Sonic 3. But I would say that, you know, I think Sonic Superstars definitely goes above Sonic 1. Sonic CD, I definitely think it actually goes up against these games. I do like the multiple playable characters, the original levels, and you know, the music is, like I said before, it's a little bit of a mixed bag, but I do like the music, and I do think it deserves to be up with those games. Yes, I did just say that. Now, is it better than Sonic Mania or Sonic 3? I think it's behind them, just because of the fact that Sonic Mania had just the better music. It didn't have all the original zones like Sonic, you know, Sonic Superstars does, but it did have the better music. At least it was consistently amazing music, at least. And Sonic 3 is just really hard to fucking touch because it's Sonic 3. Oh yeah, Trip is also another playable character in this game. Trip is actually a really fucking amazing character. I love the fact that she was like revealed. You know, she's like a very awkward and very, you know, very sweet, and just, I don't know, she's a very wholesome character in the Sonic series. And I do hope that she's gonna be more into the classic Sonic series. I don't know about the modern Sonic series. I think she should stay away, just because I want her to be purely away from that mess. But I do think that Trip as a character was amazing. The best thing about Trip's character is that she was an amalgamation of some of the other characters. Like, for one, she's fast. I'm not sure if she's faster or fast like Sonic, but she definitely is fast. I think she was one of the fastest characters in the game. She can climb up on walls. She can actually scale on top of like ceilings and walls like Knuckles, and actually is faster than Knuckles. She has a double jump that is also like Amy's. Now, I do like that, but I do have to say that her like spike ball form does have some, like, unfortunately has some untapped potential. I think it would have really been cool if you were able to actually like roll on top of spikes, you know, because spikes are still in the game, of course. Of course there are. Like, I don't know why I had to say that, but spikes are in the game. But it would have been really, really cool if, you know, Trip could roll on top of the spikes. That could give her a clear advantage from the other characters being able to roll on top of spikes, because she like her body you know, apparently she's a sun gazer lizard, which of course is a species of lizard that I had never heard of, but they also look really cool, and she looks cool. But her body definitely looks like she could be able to roll on top of the spikes, but she's not for some reason, which is a missed opportunity. I hope that some type of mod, or I don't know, as rec, I forgot to say it. The developers themselves like say that, oh, that's actually not kind of cool. I hope they see that, or the modders or something like that, they see that and they're like, oh, that's actually pretty cool, because I think that's like the best use of a character. I think that's another way, because the thing about Sonic characters is that when you introduce them, I feel like it's important to make them kind of really cool and stand out. When Tails was introduced in Sonic 3, he could fly, definite advantage over Sonic. Knuckles could glide and climb on walls. Shadow, well, he was basically just Sonic. Basically, just make him just really interesting, and I think that Trip was in that, you know, that ballpark. But with that being said, I gotta say, I love Sonic Superstars, and if I had to rate this game, straight up 9.5 out of 10. Now, it does have some problems with the boss fights, and it definitely does have some real big lows, but for some reason, to me, the game's just positives are just super strong that it supersedes all of the bad stuff. And honestly, every time I think about the game, I can't help but be happy and awesome about it. I can't wait to play this on my Steam Deck. I think it'd be a great game to play, like, you know, handheld and stuff like that. And I just think it definitely is a game that's worthy of being called an awesome classic Sonic game. On this dark and stormy day, I have to tell y'all the truth. All right. No, let's be honest here, okay? I gotta let you guys know something, all right? I know I just said that basically I think the game is like on the same merits as something like Sonic. It's better than Sonic CD. It's 9.5. I'm just gonna have to refute that really quickly, because there's actually a couple of things, like, because that was recorded a couple of months ago, honestly, to be completely transparent here. The thing about it is that the music itself has gotten noticeably worse to me, because of the fact that the soundtrack is so inconsistent in terms of its quality. Going from the Jun Sonoe tracks to the T-Lope stuff is very, very much apparent, and it honestly pisses me off now, because I hear stuff like the Lagoon song, and then I hear stuff like the Egg Press Factory thing, and it's a completely different bar of quality. You know, if we had basically just the T-Lope songs or stuff of that magnitude, then that would have been amazing, because the Jun Sonoe songs actually are just not really good, but the T-Lope songs are amazing. And I realized after watching that and after playing it some more that Sonic music is very much important. So I have to knock out like 5 points from that. You know, it's 9.0 at this point. The game itself, I also actually accidentally said that I had to edit this out. I said that it was actually better than Sonic the Hedgehog 2. I had to be completely high when I said that. I was probably going through just like withdrawal or something from Sonic or something like that. I was getting way too hyped. This game is better than Sonic the Hedgehog 1, but it is not better than Sonic the Hedgehog 2, not better than Sonic the Hedgehog 3, and it's not better than Sonic Mania, hell no. I wouldn't say it's as better as Sonic 2, and I actually love Sonic CD, so take this as a compliment. This game is on the same level as Sonic CD. I'll say that much, all right? I don't think it's as good as Sonic 2, but it's definitely as good as Sonic CD. If not, just a little bit better, but they're kind of on like the same like point. Remember, when you do these things, to actually play, like it's like that time where Jay-Z was like, you can't really review a song or an album in just like a day or whatever. You can't do that. After you play a game, let it sit with you for a while before you get your opinions out there, because you might say some dumb absolute ish like I just said. Like, Sonic, this is better than Sonic 2? Are you freaking kidding me? But with that being said, guys, this was my first KamExams for my review show of you know, just basically stuff I just like to talk about of a video game. And of course, it had to be one of the best classic Sonic games and one of the best Sonic games of all time. So with that being said, I thank you guys for watching this video. If you guys like this video, like this video. And because like you saw and you want to see more, why not subscribe to the channel? I have social medias. I don't know why I said it like that, but I have social medias, link in the description down below. But with that being said, guys, this has been awesome. I like this. I don't know. Did you guys really like this? I did like this video. It's really cool. Anyway, stay blessed, guys. Thank y'all for watching. Have a good night for watching this, and as always, hasta.